What's up, guys? Looks like you guys are doing a drift show, huh?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You mind if
Kinda.
I interrupt and come in on this one, or what?
I don't know what you're talking about, Sam. Wait.
Interruption seems to be like your thing. Anyway.
Yeah, you're. Don't be stupid, Sam.
Well, I'm just saying that maybe do you want me here or not?
I don't know, man. I could say that we had a very chill show last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
We got here at like 12 o'clock.
We got shit done.
We got here at 12.
Yep.
We laid by your pool.
Yep.
We took a nap in your bed.
Okay.
We we found all the old food in your fridge that expired within a week.
Yeah.
Cooked it all and ate it.
Okay.
We played your instruments.
Okay.
We edited Turked and totally fucked that up. What else?
Joke's on you. I don't get to edit Turked anymore. I'm not cool
damn
enough.
it, we just wasted all our time. What else we do, Paco?
We had Bruce Springsteen audio guy.
Oh yeah,
I saw that guy.
yeah, he was nice.
He was pretty good, dude. He's so knowledgeable about drifting. He just kept telling us things that we had no idea.
That's my roommate, Sleepy Brett.
Did you call him Sleepy Brett often?
No, now I'm gonna call him Sleepy Brett.
What happened right there, Corey?
Corey's eating some crackers and cheese, if you notice here. Don't worry, he's just an hors d'oeuvre on the road to his spaghetti kingdom.
Uh-huh.
So you guys did the show.
Yep.
You talked to an FD judge.
Yeah, Brian Eggert.
Brian Egghart.
Brian Eckhart. Yeah, you say so. So I listened to the episode today.
Well, thanks, Sam.
I think
It's an honor.
for the most part, you guys didn't fuck up.
Now you can say you're first-time listener, huh?
Yeah.
First time listener, first time talking to you guys about it. So that's fuck up number one, I would say, is not calling him Brian Egghart. So definitely, since I wasn't here, I noticed that there were some nicknames missing.
That's because you are the one with the nicknames.
That's right. So I wrote down some notes.
Okay.
I wrote down some notes. We'll listen to the episode, guys. I'd like to talk to you about them.
Is that all notes that I'm looking at right
Yeah,
now?
those are all notes.
That's like 5 paragraphs
Yeah,
of shit on
yeah,
there.
Corey. You guys
Oh,
did
God,
great,
here we
but
go.
I'd like to talk to you about a couple
Thanks,
things.
Sam.
All
It
right?
really means a lot.
All right. Okay. Here we go. So while we're on the nickname biz, at one point, Corey, you were talking to Brian Egghart, and you said, "At what point did you want to do a swan dive into the crowd regarding what it was like to watch 64 qualifying drivers a few years ago?"
Okay.
You remember that?
I do remember that.
And you fucked up because you said, "At what point did you want to do a Nick Swan dive?" So that's a little name pun you dropped.
Thanks.
And the other thing is that I think Brian didn't really get the question because he just said plenty of times.
No, he got it. I'm sure he just wanted to do that plenty of times because
Okay.
watching 64 drivers qualify and try to, because that's another actual tangent, is that I have no idea how hard it must have been. It's hard now with 32 drivers to give them individual points, for
Right.
these runs and be like, okay, well, this guy is going to get 71 points. Not that they choose the entire total, but let's say they did just for fun. This driver gets 71 points and this one gets 72 or this one gets 70. It's like that 1 point difference. Let's say these drivers drove 25 cars apart. And at the end of the day, one driver's like, what the fuck? My run was way better than that guy's run, and he got a 72, and I got a 71.
Yeah.
It's that's so hard.
One other question I totally wanted to ask was, how often do they write down the scores actually before the runs?
Well, it depends on those fat tips they give them.
That corporate
Yeah,
money.
I totally forgot to ask.
Well, that's the one thing I actually do want to ask them because while I was listening to the show, I was thinking I wanted to ask him if he ever actually did someone try to bribe them. I'm sure at some point.
Oh, I'm sure.
Someone has probably tried to bribe a judge, and I wanted to ask that. And who knows how he would respond.
Even if he doesn't say who he was?
Yeah, I doubt he would professionally, but I do want to know. I guess it's almost certain. At some point, someone must have said, hey, maybe not even bribing, but maybe intimidation is probably more likely.
Ooh. I'm
guessing that someone from some major team at some point maybe had said, you know what, you chose poorly on that decision with our driver. If you enjoy this funding for your series, I suggest next time you choose better. I bet that has happened.
Or I'm sure there's an individual driver would walk up to him and open up his pocket,
just grab his crotch and be like, "You want this?"
No, he opens up his pocket and shows him 2 Lincolns and a Washington, and they're $12, and just
you want it? I've dropped this on the ground. Can you pick that up for me?
Or go for a handshake and slip him a $3,
$3 bill.
$3 bill,
like the valet parking.
All right, let's go over some more notes I made for you guys. So Corey, in the beginning, you said you don't know why people are running such low tire pressures. Do you remember that, Corey?
I do remember that.
Corey, it's because of grip and speed.
Oh, thanks, Sam.
Oh,
Grip and speed,
thanks,
Corey.
Sam. You're so knowledgeable about this technical stuff.
No, but so you did say I think you're probably in just pontificating
well,
about
low in my mind is like 18 to 21 pounds is what we would run. So,
but that was 2 years ago. I feel like now everyone's just tiptoeing that line of like, how low can I go? How low can you go?
Well, I think Jeff Jones says he was under 17 pounds when his tire went.
Dude, I think most of the dudes that are deep eating are under 10.
I'm sure they are. I've never touched that ever in my
So
life,
maybe,
honestly.
Corey, I'm going to guess that what you meant by saying I don't know why people are running such low tire pressures is like you don't know why they're running such riskily low tire pressures. Like, wouldn't you rather complete a run with 12 PSI than sit at 8 PSI and plausibly DB like Mad Mike has now done twice this year, I think? Twice? This is twice?
Yeah, or I would just change
I
something
think he did it elsewhere. What would you change, Corey?
Everybody.
I'll try to find grip somewhere else in the car.
Corey just put a whole wad of cheese and crackers in his mouth and I'm trying to find grip somewhere else.
Best part is right before the show, I woke up from a nap from like 5 to 7:30 and then rushed here. So I'm like, this is my breakfast again. Second breakfast for the day.
I had a mistake, by the way.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
I didn't believe it.
Repeating.
Call it out before Chris does.
I kept saying that Jeff Jones won Pro 2 on Florida. But no, he got second.
That's a pretty simple thing to figure out, Paco.
Yeah, no, it was just like I was trying to say that he was in the battle with the finals, you know. With,
in America, we call that the finals, Paco.
With Mark Landerville from the Pink Flamingo.
Yep.
Marcus Laundry.
Well,
Town.
you were saying Jeff Jones, and I didn't know he was even competing.
Yeah, we weren't sure who you were talking
yeah,
about.
so I was agreeing with you, but yeah, Jeff Jones finished second.
Yeah, so I mean, somebody pointed out that I kept saying that he won both rounds, but actually Landerville thing is on higher on points or something.
Okay, so here's where you guys also may have blown it.
Oh God.
So at one point, Paco, you mentioned the Glugate. What are we calling that?
Glugate.
Glugate, Chelsea's Glugate, and in reference for if they're just picking up this episode, Chelsea Denofa was found with some sort of sticky substance in the middle of his tire that wasn't cream cheese.
At least that's what we heard.
So you didn't ask the judge anything about that. You didn't discuss it. I know it's a touchy subject.
We did a little bit, but he says that's up to the technical director. He would be the one to talk to. So we actually tried getting Kevin Wells on the show, which he will be on probably in the next episode or two.
Personal opinion, did Chelsea knowingly break the rules to get his tire to stay on his rim to run lower tire pressures?
Yes, I would say yes.
Yeah, just and in my opinion, because we talked about that before talking to Brian, in my opinion, like he broke the rules just because it's on the rules, but I don't think it was that bad of a rule because of.
So, but I haven't read the entire FD rulebook. Does it?
Yeah.
Does it say at some point in the FD rulebooks you may not use a substance of chemical nature?
That's what they were saying. That they specifically told them not to use any kind of additive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so first of all, we'd all like to say personally that we're not shitting on Chelsea, and I think he's one hell of a driver. And I think that people push the limits of what is allowed in all types of motorsports. However, if that was knowingly, maliciously getting an advantage, then maybe that's kind of shitty. But I'd love to talk to him about it.
Yeah, but that was my argument. I don't think it was malicious. I just think it was just like a modification, like. If you're gotta put more angle on a car to be able to get more,
but knowing that it's against the rules and knowing you may get caught for it,
what makes it malicious.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing. And he made a post.
I read
about
it saying that he couldn't keep air in his tires or whatever. It's having a leak, which is that's because your pressure was probably too low, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like the way he worded it, it seems like I
would word it the same way too.
But it just sounds like
he couldn't just be like, "Yep, I got caught." He can't just say like, "Yep, I cheated, suck it." But so all this aside, like I don't want to pass too much judgment because I would love to have him on the show, and I think he's a great driver. So I think that we should totally talk to Mr. I don't have a good nickname for him.
Well, of course we do, Mr. The Sofa.
Chelsea the Sofa Clinton.
Chelsea is already. It's already like that joke is itself. Right
well, then never mind. Can't use that.
Okay.
So a notable thing that I heard from the episode as well is that I think I love. I think it was Corey said, "Think about if your judge was cat shit one." Do you remember that?
That was the name of the user.
Yeah. So what was that? I'm trying to remember exactly what that was regarding.
I was just saying. I I went over to Jojo Redman's site.
Yeah.
Just to
Oh yeah, the
Rec
commenters.
Magazine.
And I
Rec
was like,
Magazine
just-
comments.
because I told him those are the dudes that usually rip them the hardest.
Yeah, so what Corey had said was if the Wrecked Magazine commenters were the actual judges of FD, and he's like, think about if your judge was Cat Shit One, because that was the guy's username. That made me really happy.
Awesome.
That's why I was like doing my best impersonation with Jared. Like,
Yeah.
so the judges are in. We have Cat Shit One. He's sliding for
Cat Shit One is
Asbo.
Cat Shit One would vote Osbo. So Corey, you also said the you judge it yourself idea, like that a good way to see if you agree with the judges is sorry, my cat was playing with the audio equipment. That was almost a disaster. He could have ripped down the entire tripod. We'll see. But you had said that the you judge yourself criteria, like the idea is that don't watch the judges. And do you remember what you're trying to say exactly?
Yeah, so it was you watch a run, and then you predict your score.
Right.
And you see how close it is to the actual judge's score, and then you can start gauging how close or how far off you are to judging off what they particularly see.
Which I think is a fun idea. However, it is a lot to judge because they have 3 judges. He said, Egbert said that they'd like to have more than 3 even to judge individual things. So I think it's hard to individually judge an entire run alone, summarizing the entire run into one score.
You'd be surprised because you can watch that whole run and you could tell their line pretty quickly. You could look at it. You're gonna watch the replay 3 other times as well.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, assuming you are, but that makes it very. Yeah, I guess that's fun.
It's you can have fun with it too.
Yeah, I just wanna- just wanna
but just see how close you can get because there's sometimes there's
Just have fun with it, you know.
hey, make it a drinking game.
Hey man, this is, every time a car runs, you take a drink. Okay, yeah. So then,
Did you call him Egbert, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was thinking we should call him Siskel and Egbert.
Siskel and Egbert, I like that. And then who's the third guy in the stands or in the judges booth?
Ray Finkel.
Angry Andy.
Ray Finkel, Sinkle, and Egbert. So then this is the biggest point of criticism that I had.
So far, you have 4
Wow,
things
you-
against me and 1 thing
You've
against
been
Paco.
so hard.
No, I think
so hard.
this is actually fun for me because I wasn't here for an episode of the show that I helped create. You know, it's pretty weird
cool.
time.
Oh yeah,
it was
wait till
weird.
you see the
This is
video
my
version.
second time or third time.
So you guys built up the intensity of talking about FD rules for 20 minutes before you got a random call from Egghart. Then you got him on the phone, and then you just like talked about bullshit and like other series right away. Like I was as a listener, I really wanted to know.
Trust me.
Right away, as a listener, I just wanted to hear like, what the fuck were you thinking, Judge?
Yeah. No, because Paco opened with the U.S. Drift.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I guess it made sense to
And
sit
one
on
of the
that
things,
topic.
like, I mean, maybe you should tell the people that it was this time it was a very, very improvised call. Like he did call us.
He did call us?
Yeah, like we didn't like pretend this time.
It's out of nowhere.
Almost out of nowhere, but like the whole thing was pretty much put together in not even an hour before we started recording. So we definitely weren't as prepared as we would have been for another driver.
Sam,
Yeah.
I'm just saying the show was a fucking mess without you.
Oh, that's all I wanted to hear. But yeah, so I understand that there is a level of professionalism. Not that it's unprofessional to grill them, but the internet right now is aflame with some of the calls made at Orlando.
Yes.
And I am not particularly I'm rarely on the flame side, but I do think that so first of all, let me preface this by saying that for the first time since I started shooting drifting professionally, I watched Top 8.
Yeah,
I have never sat in the stands before and watched, or not never, I haven't done it since 3 years ago before I was doing this professionally, and I sat in the stands and watched Top 8 from a spectator's point of view. First of all, drifting's fucking cool. Like, I don't know if you guys knew this,
That's why you still do
kind
it.
of, but tell me about it.
but I haven't watched an actual FD event. I'm always behind a camera, and I don't get to watch it really because
Sam,
I'm focusing
what
on...
is drifting for you? Tell us.
It's like...
What does D stand for?
It's like doing a long rail of cocaine that leads into a toilet
me.
bowl. And that toilet bowl is just flushing constantly, and like you're trying to snort that huge rail of coke, and it's like going down the toilet. It's like you're also you're climbing
Right,
deeper and deeper into the toilet.
As Van Halen, or no, what song's playing in the background? I was going to say either Freebird or Jump
I was thinking that it was I Will Always Love You.
by
Which
Whitney
one?
Houston.
Yeah, Whitney.
Okay.
And just cranking down.
Yeah, just
some.
cranking down, but you keep on trying to get more of the cocaine, but the toilet's just flushing and flushing and flushing, and
Just couldn't get it.
soon your head's underwater, and yeah, that's FD to me.
Wow. Awesome, dude.
So hopefully we can talk to a judge again in the future. And as you guys proposed in the show, at the end of the show, which I really love the idea, is maybe after some events we have like a little clarifying session. So we ahead of the show we're like, hey, Eggheart or whoever, these are the battles that the internet is all butthurt about. We would love to get your opinion. And I like the idea that now we will have the possibility to open that point.
We got the go ahead from Ryan Sagan on that. So he
were you doing like a Carl Sagan joke with that?
I was leaning that way, but
okay. So only have a couple more things, and they're all fun things.
Jesus.
Corey, I really liked when you were talking about judging a few years ago, and you're like, it was so technical, and Eggheart agreed. He was like, yeah, that was a dark time because you guys were doing zeros for cones being blown and or touched over.
Yep.
And then you just kept on trying to allude to like, yeah, that was a hard time for a lot of drivers. Like you were trying to just be like, yeah, it sucked for me, Corey Hosford. Corey Hosford got fucked by these rules.
Oh yeah, he's like a few years ago. It was totally difficult.
And you were just trying to edge it in until you finally did say like, yeah, I'm talking about me.
Yeah, I got fucked 33 times.
Because I still hold true. It's been a while since I've seen it, but Corey's run, your second qualifying run, the last time you drove in Formula Drift, the last run you did in FD at Irwindale,
yep.
When you hit both walls. Your run was dick on the track.
Thanks, Sam.
You left that whole thing out there, but you tapped both walls just enough to affect your angle. And
slightly.
They pretty much like zeroed you for the run. I think they gave you a score, but it was a terrible score.
It was actually 1 point lower than Luke Pacula, who qualified 32nd. That's how Forsberg lost the championship.
Yeah, so we realized that it was Corey's fault. I forgot about that it's Corey's fault that Forsberg lost the championship. But if we're also talking real, that cone that was blown over was also why Forsberg lost the championship that year, because if there was the current rules in place now, Forsberg would not have been eliminated or zeroed or whatever happened that run. So that's something of interest. But yeah, Corey laid down the hardest run I've ever seen a Corey Hosford run down.
At Irwindale
in 2013. Yeah, and he got penalized heavily because he just ripped it around these walls. Yeah, but I loved it.
Thanks, Sam.
And I also really love the idea in the show that Eggheart brought up about if they do some sort of get rid of qualifying scenario and drivers are seated at the beginning of the event. And like, let's say it's a random number chosen. That's how at least I understood it.
Yep.
That the idea that you can do a fan integration with that.
Yep.
That's so cool because the fan that draws the best or, sends Vaughn the best Snapchat, let's say, gets to then draw his number out of the hat and has like a direct effect on that driver's weekend. That's pretty freaking cool. Like,
well, there's so many things you can do with it. You could do fan related. You can do some sort of charity event with that. You could do like some things that like you said, that number really affects that dude's weekend. Do
you think that we could have a major effect on qualifying being removed as a show? Like, can we?
I think it would be better.
Of course, we all think it would be better. I'm just saying, can we as a show, do we have enough? We don't have enough weight yet because we only have a few thousand people to listen to us each week. But what if we could? I don't think we're powerful enough now to start like some sort of petition
we just
force.
Eat Wheaties, milk, spaghetti.
Well, our power is almost over 9,000. No, it's closer to like 2,000 or 3,000, I think. But
yeah, we're close.
But I think like we all like Ryan Sage doesn't want qualifying. Eggheart doesn't want qualifying. We don't want qualifying. A lot of other people have said they don't want qualifying. I know that FD isn't just like sitting on their ass like thinking like we can't get rid of qualifying because obviously Ryan Sage is looking at options, but they're all looking at options.
My prediction is that for 2017,
qualifying will be
Formula Drift will have no qualifying
because of us. Because of our show,
we should pick it.
We started like
we didn't start anything, but we were helping.
Like we started definitely like telling a lot of people about the possibility of.
We're helping getting the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And
no, it's not for us, but yeah, like I definitely think like a lot of many people in the audience is like never considered not having qualifying until they started hearing about the Jaeger system.
Because the only damage that can be done with the tandem qualifying, if we're going to call it that format, is maybe your car gets damaged a little bit more, but.
Nah, not really, because if you heard our episode,
I did.
One of the things that Brian mentioned is like a lot of the drivers hurt their car doing practice for qualifying, and even during qualifying trying to lay like this amazing run.
Yeah, they throw all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly, and it is a lot of pressure. I mean,
you know
about that qualifying pressure, Corey. and how is it?
That was a good part of the show when you're talking about that guy who wasn't very good at qualifying.
Yeah, I'd never heard of him. I'm actually thinking right now of ways.
Wait, hold on. You're thinking?
Yeah, I am, because
Go on.
I think the only issue that Formula D is going to have with doing like the pill draw number system is they're going to have a 32 car field. Like, that's it.
Period.
But so I'm thinking of what if Formula D has 42 cars or 50 cars? Maybe you pill draw, right? You pill draw, everybody takes a number, and the top 16. If you draw one of the 1 through 16, you're seated in. And the last maybe 16 drivers
before top 16 and before do kind of like a battle.
I think that leaves too much.
No.
That leaves too much.
The 1 through 16 is automatically
Yeah,
seated.
they're in. Yeah,
And then the other remaining drivers have to qualify to fill those spots.
or do a battle for the top 32.
I think that leaves too much to chance, maybe. I like the idea. I think it's better to just have a 32 driver, maybe 1 or 2 alts for top 30 for Pro 1, let's call it. And the rest is just Pro 2. Like, if you want to be in the big leagues, you've got to prove it.
Yeah, it's like Formula Drift is the Royal Rumble.
Right. So then the other issue is going to be is out of what number of people roll out of Pro 1 to go back to Pro 2?
6 to 8.
6 to 8. So that's what you would have to figure out is...
Yeah, the top 6 to 8 of Pro 2 get to move to Pro 1, and the bottom
6 to 8.
Yep.
But if you think about it, so yeah, like right now, how many drivers are in Pro 1? 35?
34, 35.
34. So
Which only did about 32 show up to every event.
yeah, so
Or
that's what
are
I'm saying.
able to
Like
drive.
by next year, there's gonna be only 32. There's no way there can be more drivers.
But that's why you have Pro 2 dudes that are already at the event as alts. So it's like this Pro 1 dude doesn't show up. You're Pro 2. You got tires. You got the will. Like, let's fucking drive. You're in Pro 1 this event.
There you go.
And then finally, last thing.
Oh shit!
Corey said-
I thought you said last thing.
Corey said-
last couple ones.
I would hire the space station.
I would.
I would.
Because
I
the
would
space
find a way
station
to
is so like
seize
for
everything.
hire.
In regards to professionalizing the series and
I think he meant because of like the photographic view.
I would hire it. Still to this day.
all right, Corey sticks by it. Sticks by his guns. He'd hire the
Sticking by
space
his
station.
Still to this day.
So that's it.
Thanks, Sam.
All in
Well-
all, you guys
Sucked.
did the worst show I've ever heard. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I think the show was
Actually,
almost...
The stats say the opposite.
Well, I think the show is almost too good, and I'm kind of wondering if now I should leave. Because most of the negative comments
Sam.
are directed directly towards me.
No.
Stop. It's fine.
No.
I'm pretty tired.
I'm going to boop you on the nose.
FD Orlando was really fucking exhausting, and I'm okay to just, take a couple long naps this week.
Hey, do you know what we could do right now, guys? Since Sam just did the opening segment, since we're all back together, can we do a welcome to Maximum Driftcast, all three of us?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we should do that to kind of rejoin our spirits and our
Spirit animals?
and our minds.
Should we do it all the three of us at the same time?
Bodybuilder bodies. Yeah, we should do it at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome
to Maximum
Driftcast.
Cats.
The only Driftcast
where
Sam
has
salad sandwiches in his camera
bag.
Yeah, that.
The only Driftcast where Sam has egg salad sandwiches in his camera bag. Nailed it, guys.
Wow.
Welcome back.
It's like we
Welcome
actually
back.
scripted.
Yep.
So, yeah, welcome to the show. We're here. We're getting real close to the mics this time, and we're whispering.
We're going to really fuck up the audio on this one, boys.
No, well, this one, so you can talk close. You just have to talk sexy.
People really missed the interruptions in the last episode. Don't worry. The interruptions are back.
They're not.
Stay with us.
You want people talking over each other? They're back.
Well, I guess now that we have started the episode, what should we do?
Well,
Maybe
we could talk
just,
about
like,
your.
finish it.
You just laid down our total review on the last show. How about you could either
I lay down and you kissed my neck. Thank you.
we could wow, this is I'm still trying to get readjusted to having you back, so it might take me a second.
Yeah,
to
I'm
get
sorry.
fired
I didn't mean to
up.
leave you like that.
But yeah,
I promise I'll never leave again.
because Paco and I had to do the filming just the other day, obviously, or the recording.
Yeah, which is why a video version isn't out.
Okay,
at the
so you were
second,
gone. So the reason you're gone, obviously, FD Orlando, then you did Snap-on.
I did a snap-on job in Charlotte.
Yep.
See, that's another fuck up. You guys said, "Oh, Sam's still in Florida." No, you big dumb doy.
Because it was funnier to
I went to Charlotte.
think that you were Charlotte, Florida.
I wish I would have stayed in Florida for another day, because then I would have went to Harry Potter World.
There's a Charlotte in Florida.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened on
Which Harlow were you at?
So Sunday, Jared the Manda Panda. I don't understand what you're saying, Charlotte. Are you speaking English, Paco?
No, obviously. Duh.
Dodoe.
Wait, what are you trying to say? Get it out.
Charlotte.
I don't get it.
Where were you instead of being in Orlando?
Charlotte.
Charlotte what?
Charlotte home. It's like a knock-knock joke. Charlotte what?
Is it in Florida?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I mean, I know Charlotte, Florida. Charlotte.
I thought it was in some other state. No joke.
Did you flew there?
Hold on. We better look this up before Forsberg fucking...
Uh-oh.
Charlotte is really in Florida?
There's I know...
no, it's North Carolina, little butt.
I have uncles who live in... it's called Port Charlotte in Florida.
That's different.
Oh, God damn
This one doesn't have a port. It's landlocked. You
Well, I don't
doy.
know. Well, you're the one who's traveling and you can't tell us where it's at. I was
Yeah.
just asking.
It is almost worse,
Well,
though.
usually
That,
when Sam's out driving around, he's blacked out anyways and doesn't know how to get there.
no, it is funnier, though, that I didn't know what state Charlotte's in because I've been there literally 6 times in the past, year. So yeah, it's North Carolina. That's
There you
fun.
go.
But
Oh.
Jared the Manda Pianda, and I went in there, and we lit up that town like a couple of 30-somethings.
Painted it in pink.
I had the best ramen I've ever had, and that was fun. We did that.
Ramen?
Ramen noodles.
North Carolina's
And then we
famous for its ramen.
then we drank wine and watched Game of Thrones together.
Oh, wow.
It was
Did
real.
you guys share a room?
No, thankfully. And that was. Then we
Yeah,
shot. Then we shot this
Steph would
really.
appreciate that.
I don't want to spoil anything, but we shot this really cool car place.
That's
Nice.
cool.
That's not
Wow,
spoiling
Sam,
much.
that sounds exciting. I want to watch it now.
But I also want to say that Orlando Formula
Just
Drift
kidding.
was the most difficult Formula Drift I have ever filmed at.
Did the media spots get better or no?
They did. They allowed us in the
infield?
inside infield this year in the toilet bowl, but as with all inner toilet bowl,
Toilet bowl.
shooting points, it's difficult because once you're in there, you get stuck. Because unless there's a wreck or unless you can somehow flag down an FD person to let them know you're going to get out, you are kind of stuck in the middle.
And there's no shade.
There's no
Stuck in
shade,
the
and yeah, that
middle
was the
with
biggest
you.
thing. That's why it was the hardest because it was 95 degrees or more sometimes with 50 to 80% humidity. And so we live in Arizona, and right now it's 110, and that's totally doable for me because there's
Yeah.
it's a dry heat.
Dry
How much baby
heat.
powder did you have in your underwear? I know you were gonna. I wrote this in my notes. One thing I
Buckets.
wanted to go over.
Buckets of baby powder, and it did nothing.
Really didn't.
It did
Because
nothing.
it's so wet.
The second you walk outside, you are sweating, and so I would sweat profusely. So this is a real fact.
Okay.
And I think day 2, I counted. I drank 15 bottles of water, did not pee.
Did not pee.
Really?
Yep, did not pee until I got back to the hotel. And so I was working in direct sunlight for 8 to 10 hours. This 95 degree,
You have quite a
70%
tan.
humidity. Do I? I can't tell.
Yeah.
And then I had to go home back to the hotel and then edit a Vaughn video for 6 to 8 hours. And it was the most brutal time. And I'm so tired from it still. And New Jersey's already coming up.
Sam's
a week.
like captain's log. I'm on
Captain's
my
log.
15 bottle of water,
I've got
and I'm starting to get concerned because there's no pee-pee.
that
Coming
is
out
that
of
is
my
true.
ding-a-ling.
That is true.
It is 10:30 p.m. and I'm waiting to make this movement.
Waiting to exhale.
See you guys in the morning.
See you in the AM.
Over and out.
Over and unders.
So, okay, speaking of which,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about any of the battles. We talked about the Denofa tire.
That was your job because you did the show
no,
right
but
after
we're saving it for you.
Shut the fuck
Well,
up.
we were
Yeah.
hoping you were going to come back.
I'm here.
Okay. So, obviously, controversial calls, some of them. Okay, talk about your boss and Hildebrand.
The Vonster and Hellebrun, that was a very clear-cut call.
You guys were
The
stoked
boss,
on it?
the boss totally. I wasn't stoked. I mean, I thought honestly when I first saw it, I thought that Vaughn lost.
Well, that's what the
Yeah, that's
deal
what the internet
was.
thought too. And then I reviewed my footage, and then I heard the judge's explanation, and it totally made sense because the chase driver in this case was Vaughn, and he straightened out / fucked up. And I was like, whoa, what the hell? Why did they just give it to him? Because he straightened out / fucked up. But when you review the footage and you hear the judges talking about it, it's very easy that Helbrun drove wide
Right.
and slowed down, and that
Yeah.
forces the chase car to
Choke
correct.
up, right.
And then once you see that happened, it's very easy to see that Vaughn either was going to plow into him or the run would have been complete fucked. So he slowed down and straightened, and it is the lead car's fault. Period.
The other run that was widely talked about was the Osbo versus Andy Gray.
And agree.
Yep. And I think Andy Gray should have won.
Okay.
I didn't watch.
Oh God, we just hit a nerve on Paco.
I watched it.
I didn't watch it live. Let me say so.
Yeah, well,
I only watched it after.
I watched it over and over, and
Ober and Ober.
with one more time, I agree there was a little bit of discrepancy.
He should have won right away. First of all,
Yeah, see, there shouldn't have been a one.
there
more
should have been a
time.
one more time. He won.
I
So
don't,
Paco was just watching the one more time run over.
I don't
and
think
over.
so. I mean, like the fact that one judge called for one more time, and other two judges were completely
Yeah,
separated from, like, they couldn't tell.
completely separated.
That right there tells you something, right?
That it should be one more time. Yeah. So by definition, yeah, it should have been. I don't agree.
It wasn't like a definitive.
I would love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The problem is on the second run, Andrew Gray spun. So yeah, even if Osbo was kind of behind, and you want to call inactive chase,
Yeah. So, but hold on. Let's seal up the first run. First run. Let's wrap that up. First run is. Do you think Alex Gray should have won the first run? Or are you
I say
saying that?
yes.
I say yes. Because we sleep. Corey and Sam slide left, and Paco slides one more time.
I would say one more time.
I would agree with that.
I don't think it would be definite
Yeah.
for Osbo.
And as Egghart said, that I really like is that if you have to think about it for more than 30 seconds, it's a one more time.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I saw a lot of mistakes, absolutely, but I also saw a lot of good pointers on both guys. That it wasn't obvious. Like, it's like they say, don't leave it to the judges.
Yeah,
You know, make it
exactly.
very obvious that you're winning.
And Osbo, despite having shallower angle and like some possible straightening stuff, which is a huge deal, of course.
It's huge.
But when you watch him, Osbo, one of the things that makes him so highly judgeable is that he sets a line and he doesn't flutter at all. Like he is completely, he locks his angle and he stays there. He doesn't like twitch the front wheels at all. And Alex Gray was
Is that
definitely
not the point?
What?
Because when I would used to drive, I'd be like, oh, look at
You
it. And I would
just
dangle
swat
it
and
and
fly.
I'd
Yeah.
wave to people.
Yeah,
I'd
you're
dangle
waving
my
to all the
front
fans.
wheels
Like
with my-
if you're doing that as a goof, then yeah, it's great.
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing during qualifying.
Yeah, as long as
I
you-
call that waving to the fans.
As long as you bought the judges enough edible arrangements, like that, you'll get away with that too. Because I hear that's what they're into.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give them a wave. It's like Shamu at SeaWorld. You know, wave the flipper around. So that's what I was doing. Wave
Yeah,
my
keep them
flippers.
in captivity and let them die.
That's what I felt like.
Yeah. So first
So
run,
anyways.
we're at Gray one more time.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Alex. When we talk to Alex Gray, that's gonna be the name of the episode.
50 Shades of
50 Shades of Alex Gray.
Andy
Yeah.
Gray. Who's Alex Gray? God
Gray.
damn
I
it.
thought they're all Alex at this point.
No, it's Andy.
No, they're all Alex. We got
so
Alex
Alex-
Helderbrun, Alex Hohandle,
Alex
Alex
Grades.
Forsberg,
Alex Forsberg.
Alex Hosford.
Alex Hosford. All right, so battle two.
Battle 2, it was I was obvious that it was Osbo. Because
So-
even if Osbo was not very close, it's still not a dude. Like
They should
he
have-
he was as close. Okay, listen. He was as close as listen to this. He was as close as most of Formula Drift Pro 2 drivers on most of their
This
chases.
isn't Pro 2, motherfucker.
I know, but that's still not an active chase.
Okay, so
Inactive chase would be like literally just like it's not even there.
the normal.
And here's the thing, it wasn't during the entire chase run. It was just after the transition. He was like Gray, just like kind of like ran away from him.
So the sensible person to me says that they made the right decision. The sensible, normal, we are running a very professional, multi-million-dollar industry, says yes, Frederick Osbo won. But the malicious asshole in me is like, no, we got to prove a point to these fucking drivers that just because the leader spun on the first run doesn't mean you can just sit back 10 cars back and just chill out.
Oh no, absolutely.
I want to prove a point. If I was a judge, I'd
Absolutely.
be like, no, fuck that shit.
But-
We're going to run this again because you did not chase him. That was not a tandem battle.
But if you put it on a scale, what weighs more? Not being that close or spinning?
Right, which is why on paper the right call was Osbo. Is that weight
That's
is
what I'm saying.
weight is that,
And
but inactive chase is so uncool in my mind. It is the
It's
most
still
boring.
considered a zero.
It's the
In
most
some cases
boring-
considered a zero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it would have been more obvious if it was really an inactive chase. I mean, I can definitely tell that Osbo was trying to be cautious because like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
10
I already
car
got
lengths
He was being a
back.
I already
pony.
got this. But like I said, it wasn't most of the race where he was
Yeah.
inactive. It was Andrew Gray kind of just like separated from him after the transition.
Yeah.
And when you go over the transition and you go over all the smoke, where most people gets lost.
Yeah.
If you're like trying to play it safe, you're gonna try to slow down a little bit just to be able to get out of the smoke, realize where you at, and then keep going.
Yeah.
And that's why he got separated. So even though he was planning to play it safe, he
Okay.
I think he should have known better and stay closer, but I don't think he was trying to stay that far away.
Okay, so he was trying to be safe, but where does safety get you? Look at.
Well, he knew-
hold on. I'll
got
tell
him
you.
a first place.
He knew the run was in his pocket. He knew he could pretty much
look at
fuck
this.
off the rest of the
Okay,
run.
so we're talking about being conservative. Look at
Donald Trump, he's conservative as heck.
Alex Holehandle and Forrest. Alex blasted through the smoke and saying like, "Screw this! I'm either gonna hit him."
That was rad.
Like,
that was
see,
one of the best
that's what it should
races.
be.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather score that way than being like, "Oh, I'm gonna
Absolutely.
tiptoe my way through this and
I agree
straighten
with you.
up."
And I think Osbo is a very nice man, and I like
He
hugging,
plays the games.
I like hugging him, and I like rubbing my face
He's a great
against
guy. He
his chin.
plays the games.
If you
But
guys,
he does play the games, and he is an intelligent driver playing by the rule book, and the rule book says that you can hang back 10 cars and get away with it, which is what
Right.
he did.
Yep.
And I'm saying that the rule book maybe shouldn't do that, and the rule book should maybe say, no, we're going to punish you with it one more time because you can't just fucking
it
chill.
should have been obvious.
And if there's anyone from Steven Poppy Mommy Kisses listening to this, you guys should have run harder that run. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I love you, I love your team, I respect the fuck out of you guys, but you should have driven a little bit harder.
Leave your nuts on the track.
And don't get me
Leave your nuts
wrong,
on the
you know,
track.
I like Osmo as well, but I think
You love Osmo.
I think
You love
Gray-
everyone.
I think Gray is also a badass driver. Totally
Gray's
worth.
the
Yeah,
best.
so I'm not being biased.
You're being
just
so
reporting.
biased. Right
I
now,
wish, but I
Paco.
think the best takeaway from, or the thing that we should hopefully take away from all this is that what really matters is what other FD drivers think of you.
No way.
Oh, well, looks like we're getting some more. Let's just do it. Let's answer it.
I'm ready. I'm pretending I'm not here.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, wonderful. It's Forsberg. What have we done now?
Yeah, I'm back.
Hooray!
Welcome back.
Hey, tell him I'm not here. Tell him I'm not here.
Corey's not here right now. He can't.
Yeah, tell him I'm not here.
He's not responsible for the last episode.
That's fine. I mean, you know, the bowl of spaghetti prank that works pretty good. You know, like hiding out, trying to get the easy way out for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just let me know when I should
Yeah,
be back?
but you know, I know where his true intentions are, and it's about getting the facts wrong all the time, every time.
Do you have any facts from this episode that I was not present in? Have you heard that one?
The one that you weren't present in. Let's see. Well, there was just a couple random things. It wasn't even what Corey was saying. Actually, it was just a couple comments about the judge.
I was gonna say, are you gonna
that was
correct?
on your episode.
Are you gonna correct Brian Egbert? That'd be great if you could correct his facts.
Not exactly correcting, but just a couple quick comments.
Let's hear it.
First off, one of the things that he started with when we were talking about Orlando was he said Orlando was easy, which kind of blew my mind. So just to say that, you know, any FD course is easy. I mean, yes, granted, it is the shortest course. It's the least amount of turns and this, that, and the other. But if it was so easy, there wouldn't be people crashing into the wall. There wouldn't be people spinning out in the infield.
Yeah.
Collisions going off, you know, putting tires over the yellow line. Like, the fact that, you know, like, to assume that any FD course is easy is, you know, like, if you just kind of look at it from a grand scheme of things, in the, you know, scope of professional drifting where we have to be on point every run, put the car on the wall, hit these giant bumps, hit the, you know, bumps across the infield, transitions and everything else, and not mess up is super, super difficult, especially with a wall of smoke in front of your face. So it was, you know, I'd like to think that the judges think that we're trying out there. We're doing our best.
Are you excited not to qualify in New Jersey now?
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, I think there might be 33 drivers, so, you know, I feel like that now with these, you know, comments, I may be the lucky 33rd, right, Corey?
Yeah, that's the best one to go with. You have a lot of
Yeah.
time to work on your car afterwards.
Yeah. You got all Saturday to make sure that thing is tip-top ready to go.
Ready to go for the next 3 months, baby.
Yeah.
What else?
But actually, there was also one other thing actually that Eggert said that didn't really make sense. He said that you're always decelerating when you're breaking traction, like as in the initiation.
Right.
When it's actually that's not true, because if you are to accelerate towards the corner and you clutch kick into the corner, you are still accelerating.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there's a moment where you disrupt the power to the ground where you kick the clutch, but that's a millisecond. And you're picking up speed, you kick the clutch, the car starts spinning tires over ground speed, and you're still continuing to accelerate. So,
do you think maybe
that,
could we clarify that to maybe acceleration ceases rather than decelerating? Do you think that's could be what he meant? Like there is a jar in motion.
Well, I think he was more so. It was in regards to, like, on the parts of the track where tandem is tight, and the acceleration versus deceleration map, and he made a comment of oh well, the cars are always decelerating when they're breaking traction, but I mean that's only if you're grabbing handbrake.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are to roll up to the corner, I mean, not to say roll, but accelerate towards the corner and kick the clutch in a all forward momentum fashion, then you are going to be constantly accelerating. So
how do you initiate at Orlando?
I started off with handbrake on Thursday, and then I noticed that it was setting us a little off pace for the initiation, because a lot of guys, instead of fighting for traction down the straightaway and then flicking their car in, because obviously there's a rate of speed that you can carry around a corner, and there's a rate of speed that you are at when you get to that corner, depending on how fast you go down the straightaway.
Right.
It's pretty simple math, but some drivers like to kind of baby their way down the straight and then either throw a big feint or kind of burn tires down the straight so they don't accelerate as much, so that when they get to the corner, they're at their set speed.
Yeah.
And then they clutch kick in, or they rotate into it, or whatever. If you aim for traction and you drive your car with your right foot down the straightaway as fast as you can, then you may have to handbrake in, whereas others will clutch kick. So it's kind of like a drag race scenario where it's not about the speed, it's about the quickness. So if we get there, faster than the chase driver because we're going for the speed on the straight, and then we handbrake into it, but the chase driver is coming up at a gradual pace and clutch kicks into it, there's a moment in time where I'm slowing down and he's speeding up. So that's where you have to initiate the same way in tandem as you do in qualifying rule comes in, because people start changing up their entries and messing up people in tandem on purpose, not to name any names, but it gets really bad. So we want to have a good show, we want to have people running good tandem, so obviously you want to stick with the same entry. So after noticing that everyone was kind of doing the cruise it in, burn the tires, or do the big feint, and clutch kick in, we kind of had to adapt to that to make sure that we had good entries, since the judging was highly focused on the bank and not the lower bank.
Yeah, I noticed that the off the line was some of the wussiest I'd ever seen. Like, almost every car, and I figured out halfway through maybe that a lot of drivers were starting in second gear, I think, so that off the line speed was real wimpy. Or is it all just pussyfooting? And
that's exactly what I'm getting at. Is like, instead of people going for the dig and getting to the corner as fast as they can, that would cause them to have to slow the car down, because you obviously can't take that same speed through the corner. So instead, if you pace your way up to it, then you can clutch kick in and then try and run away from the chase driver.
That's stupid.
Of course, that's stupid.
Yeah. So
I didn't notice. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Whoa. Who? Forsberg? Are you alone?
Don't mind that. That was Caesar. That was my dog.
Okay.
Hey, Caesar.
Hey, Caesar. You sound very... I didn't know he was
pretty good at talking now. I mean, he's like 17 years old. I think it took him long enough to pick it up. I mean, most kids start talking when they're 4, but
I assumed he was...
My dog's 17 years.
I assumed he was Grecian and not Eastern European, but...
Yeah. He's got a pretty thick accent,
Good old Caesar.
He's an old guy.
So while we have
knowledgeable though,
Chris, do you have any more fuck ups for our wonderful team here?
No, not really. I mean, that was pretty much it. Like I said, it wasn't really fuck ups, just kind of like comments towards some of the things that were mentioned in the last episode. One thing from the previous episode, one that you were actually on
shit.
there, Sam. It was
Yes.
but it wasn't you actually.
Oh.
Once again, you guys are actually, you're getting your points correct, because all my comments here are about the people calling in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's okay,
But,
because just before you called, real quick, Chris, I didn't know which state Charlotte was in, so
that's awesome.
yep. So got that going for me.
This one, I do kind of blame you guys for not knowing. It was a very easy fact, and Sam, you did try to do some quick math. Your head looked like it started to hurt a little bit trying to subtract, 13 from 2016. But
I'm an artist, Chris.
It was Andy Haley was saying like, oh, he got his D1 license in 2005. And that was like, before like SD and like before like, everything kind of took off.
Yeah, I knew that was wrong, but
yeah, that's obviously not the case. Formula Drift started in 2004. We obviously had a full season of Formula Drift and half a season of 2005. As like D1 started to come back around again. So it was Formula D started in 2004.
Got it.
Not after the D1 driver search in 2005.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys didn't catch that. You guys are a bunch of idiots.
How do you like Sam?
I would at least hope that you know when the sport that you guys follow started.
yeah, we've only been around for 3
100
years.
ago.
Dude, I haven't been in the
guys were
States for
alive.
that long.
What's that?
I haven't even been in the States for that long.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. But actually, what do you think about Sam not being on the show in the last episode?
Garbage, right?
It wasn't so bad. It went surprisingly smoothly. I think Brett really helped you guys hold it together.
Yeah, Brett.
Brett definitely, he set the pace, literally.
I'd say he was the mascot and the heart and soul of the program.
Good old Brett Hole.
Good old Brett Hole. So Chris, what did you think about FD Orlando as a whole?
Orlando, it was, a up and down event. I don't want to say like always. I feel like things are pretty easy to understand recently, but Orlando was a little questionable at times.
What do you mean?
It was, I don't know. I was slightly perplexed about a couple calls, but all we could do was focus on what the judges were looking at and what they were rewarding, and trying to adapt our, competition edge around that. So I feel like we did quickly, and we were able to, get pretty far and get on the podium again.
And just to get it on paper, or in this case on the internet, I guess, what did you figure out they were rewarding?
They were highly focused on bank, lead runs.
The initial
overall.
bank, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's start over with. They were highly focused on lead runs, which this is a very similar situation to what happened in Texas. For all those that like to question why things happened in Texas the way they did, but
yeah.
So on certain tracks, when there's either tire issues or tandem issues, the judges will explain certain things that they're looking at, and it sometimes does not get translated to the fans. And so Texas was one of the first times that really happened, where, the tandem was kind of shit in the bed, for lack of better words. It was it was a low angle chase through smoke, right?
Right.
So people were messing up, going offline, and this, that, and the other. And so it was highly weighted on your lead run. The judges were like, we know that the chase drivers can't see anything. We know you guys are struggling. So, as long as you keep up and don't make big mistakes, we are leaning most of your tandem run against the lead run, because you're out front. You can see, do a good pass.
Is that what they said in the actual?
Do a qualifying style pass, right?
Sorry to interrupt, Chris, but is that what they said in the actual meeting? Like those are
Yeah. Flat out, they actually said that in the Texas meeting. Yes, and so that was why
Texas meeting.
Yeah, I'm talking about Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, last year, like when there was another big discrepancy in judgment calls versus fan views.
Right.
And so in Orlando, similar thing happened, and it also was not really explained over the radio or the microphone or live stream, whatever. And it was similar. It wasn't exactly explained to us in the driver's meeting as heavily as it was in Texas, but it was you could definitely tell that they were focusing on the fact that a lot of guys were having trouble with the tires, which is a little frustrating because, FD changed the rule book for 2016 to have, no zeros issued for tire DBs because they want to see battles, they want to see people run, and not, just you get a zero for this, you get a zero for this.
And not FD Orlando where people just lose tires left and right, and, that's that.
Yeah, it was a little incredible. And obviously once they kind of took that rule away, you see people debeating tires left and right because they start pushing the envelope, knowing that they're not going to get a zero. So it kind of turned it into a shit show where, they allow something that they didn't before, and everyone drops 5 pounds out of the tires immediately. So it's not rocket science. We all know what happens when you run too low of pressure, tire falls off, and your car drives like crap. So we, do our very best to run the ragged edge, but keep it on the, cautious side so our tires stay on the car.
Keep it on the rim, boys.
I'd also like to compliment you, Forsberg, on your Snapchatting and the Snapchatting of a tire, actually, with some residue on it.
Yeah, apparently you are a real live journalist, deep throater. Is that what you called the guy from Watergate, deep throater?
Yeah.
I suppose so. So I mean, it was very surprising. I literally walked up to to be flat out honest. I got out of my car from qualifying. I walked. We cleaned our pit up, got our cars ready for Saturday, and then we went over to the Easy Up that we had set up for our friends and family for the event for Saturday.
Right.
To watch Pro 2 because we do that every round that Pro 2 is at. So we go over to watch Pro 2 for the night, and when I got over there, there was a couple fans that were sitting on a pair of tires that had a bunch of glue residue on them. So I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And so I took a Snapchat of it,
so
this is ridiculous. There's glue all over these tires.
But you didn't say any names. You didn't incriminate anyone. You just said, look at these gluey tires.
What the fuck?
No, just kind of throwing it out there that obviously people are debeating left and right. People are stretching the the limits of the rules, and I didn't really like it.
And you couldn't even see. You couldn't even tell what brand tire wasn't on your Snapchat, anyways.
No, we didn't make any
trying to pinpoint anybody
over it, but I put in a lot of effort, a lot of time, and I tell my team straight up and down always, we will never cheat. We never do cheat. Anyone that thinks we do can have fucking ass look at our car anytime they ever want.
Yeah.
We get claimed on launch control, speed control, all kinds of illegal
robot
mods.
driver.
Have at it. You'll never find a thing about our car.
Yeah.
So that's the way I run all the time, and I just like anyone else don't like to see the people
Yeah, because it's bullshit.
So it wasn't throwing anyone under the bus, but just threw it out there in the open, hey, clean your act up,
or at least clean the tire residue, glue residue.
So we all know what we're talking about, though. But essentially, just to break it down very simply, is that Forsberg did what I feel like was a pretty non-incriminating Snapchat, and just be
I thought it was awesome.
Just saying what the fuck? There's some tires over here with some glue on it, and I'd say inadvertently, this had somehow then snowballed into a driver being disqualified. But people, there was
to follow that up. I was far from the only person that was noticing this.
I was about to say
it was widely spread by the that night and all the next morning. People were all talking about it, whatever.
Yeah, you weren't the only one.
I said, it wasn't me trying to throw anyone under the bus. It was more so me, just throwing out there hey, why are people resorting to this? No one else is. Yeah. And so.
Yeah, because what happens with
any specific person in trouble, and I actually am very surprised that Formula D did anything about it, as they normally lean on the side of just like, oh, we'll look into it and tell them for next time or whatever. So
it's important for me.
Very surprising to see that they try to sort out what it was and find out if it was going into competition or not, and obviously that's how it all went down. So
that's important for me to at least tell the world, at least from my perspective, is that I don't think you were whistleblowing necessarily, because like you said, multiple people, these were tires that were left out in the open, and multiple people were able to see this thing. So for anyone
that's what was so surprising about it to me, where I was like, this is like, it's obviously not a concern to them. Like, it's out in the open, the tires were given to fans. The person was like, they were sitting on them watching Pro 2 right next to us. I was like, this is crazy. Like, why do you think this is okay? So, and so just to follow that up, if it was okay, if it was a gray area, then why was it, removed from competition? So, like I said, I'm sorry that it happened to Chelsea. That was obviously not my intentions at all.
I wouldn't be sorry.
Because you know what happened to snitches, right?
Snitches?
No. Snitches get stitches.
Yeah, I obviously I like Chelsea. We've been friends for a while. I was not intending on anything negative to happen to him directly. I was surprised at the actions that Formity took. I was more so just trying to bring light to the situation, that people were obviously pushing the boundaries of the rules at Formula Drift Orlando, because everyone was losing tires and it was crazy.
Yeah.
So would you say that the biggest bullshit of the weekend, though, is the battle where you got knocked out? Like, that was whoever that guy was that knocked you out. That guy was cheating hard, wasn't he? I'd say that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was probably cheating pretty hard. Like, we we did our first run, and he was
cheating,
trying to ride along with my car. It was really annoying. You know, dude, get your own lane. You know, like, I'm over here just drifting, and so we do our chase run, and so I did my very best to follow him, and he pulled like 18 freight trains on me, and I was like, hey, you should have hit a cone at the initiation point. That would have been cool. And he's like, oh, I did, bro. Check it out. And I was like, oh, cool. Let me have another chance to get my ass kicked. And, and that was that. So.
Wow.
Guy sounds like a real dirtbag.
Yep. He sounds like he cheats a lot.
Yeah. What would you tell him if you had him in front of you?
Yeah. What would you say to that guy right now?
I would say that, I wish he, gave me a better chance at, trying to go have some fun. I'm just trying to party with my bro, and he just had to, just take off on me, I'm just trying to, cruise around the track and have fun.
Well, that's good talking to you. Hope we never have to hear from that guy. But later, Chris. Thanks for all your insight.
Yeah, you got it, guys. Keep up the good work.
Thanks there, Force.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Huh.
I would really like to see what that guy's thoughts was on that whole thing.
I don't know. He sounds like no one I'd want to talk to.
Yeah, he probably doesn't like you anyways.
Try to stay cool and get to know what you want to know.
Who is this?
Who is this? It's the guy from nowhere, country called Latvia. Kristaps.
Wait, is this Kristaps Bluss, the guy who beat Chris Forsberg in Orlando?
Yes, that's the same. Chris wasn't the only one.
Oh, wow. Man. We were not talking any kind of bad talking about you.
Yeah, man.
At all.
Yeah, you totally beat Chris hard.
Yes.
Actually, I was trying to be cool, not to touch anyone.
Sportsmanship.
I was gonna just very close and try to smell what it's like to be the best out there. That's it.
So what was it like for you to get on the podium for the first time?
It's not the first time on the podium, obviously.
Yeah, in FD.
In Formula Drift.
In FD, it was the target for this year to bring a podium, because last year we were in the Rockies and we were just looking what's going on and didn't really understood what we are doing. We were learning. And this year it was the minimum target what we should do, to step on a podium from the 8 rounds. we did in third, so the plan is done. What's next? I don't know. So I don't have anything to lose because I already used my plan.
Yep.
And I want to say that your battle with Osbo for the finals was easily the best chase run. You following Osbo was the best chase I have seen in Formula Drift, maybe of all time, but at least this year. Your chase was absolutely incredible.
Maybe it will sound weird, but he's not the fastest guy out there. Commitment, yes, he's good on that, but never seen him being fast. So not the last year, not the last year before when we went to the first round in 2014. But yeah, the commitment, and so this is what we did this weekend. So we just put the commitment and our speed. That's it, and we got the result.
What happened when you spun out in your chase run? Were you too excited? Did the car mess up? What happened?
Yeah, I was really excited. I was like pretty unexcited, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it was more like a surprise because I did exactly the same I did with the Chris, with the Pat, with anyone I run that day.
Yeah.
I did exactly the same, but something just went wrong because I was doing driving on a limit, and I was just instead of the transition, I was just throwing the car
Yeah.
on that left turn like in a full speed. Whatever happens, I'm in a full speed, and I have to get between those cones. So maybe I just overshot it. Maybe the rear tires got less grip on that jump because I saw a few photos that my rear wheels are up in the air, and it kind of looked weird for me. So it means I was only on two front wheels. I
Yeah.
got front drives, and it was cool. I had a lot of fun, and I was like eating them like in the back days in Europe.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, now you mentioned that, so how is it? Tell us a little bit more about how is it that you started drifting? What got you into it? How long ago?
I started back in 2009 with 1-3 parking drift. It was the first ever drift competition besides what we were joking around with the guys during the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
And I got on a podium in my first ever race, the street drift, and I got first.
Nice.
Yes, because I got the best car at that time. That's it.
Straight up.
Yeah,
What-
but I got some knowledge of the motorsport and what means the racing, because at that time there wasn't like just the guys who were coming from the street and just trying to have fun and do donuts, and that was called drifting. So I did the circuit racing before that, so I know what's line and what's speed. I didn't know what means angle. And yeah, step by step, we start doing the European events. Went to Russia a few times because we are nearby, and yeah, somehow we got pulled in, and it excited us that deep. So we got into it that deep. Besides doing the drifting, we were building I think still the coolest drift cars out there. The guys who has them, I think it's worth it to have the HGK drift car.
So you guys build drift cars for other people in Europe, right?
I would say not only in Europe, it's the whole world. So because we sending the parts all over, and I like the way it performs. I like to keep the quality, and obviously I like to show, especially this year and the last weekend, what it's made, where it's come from. So I gladly, everything just became the same point, luckily for us, and we used our given opportunity.
Got it. Well, little question about your car particularly, and well, not only your car but like your influence. So you have a BMW with, I believe it's a NASCAR engine on it, right?
It's the mass motorsport.
Oh, it's a
not
mass.
really.
Okay, so it's
Yeah, it's V8, but it's not the regular V8 like the people out there like to call it LS. So
Okay.
is it LS? No, it's not. It's RHS. It's the V8, the race V8, and it's response and gets up RPMs much faster
Got
than
it.
any V8 out there.
So-
Besides the guys in Ford.
So
Yeah,
it's one of the highest end massed motorsports motors though that they make.
Yes, that's the best engine I ever had, and it's worth it.
Nice. So, would you say your inspiration for drifting was more on the American side or from the Japanese side? Since you've been in Latvia, you have a lot of influence from European drift, and I guess you also see American drifting and Japanese drifting as foreign. So, what was your biggest inspiration?
Obviously, they're here. It means that's why I'm already here, right? It gives the answer on your question.
I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know how the drifting scene.
What if I could help? What made you want to start drifting? Why did you drift in the beginning?
Just I don't know. It became a big sport. It got the much more attention from the spectators, from the fans out there, because everybody knows what's circuit racing. So, and on the level of circuit racing back at my home, compare how far I can get with the drifting and the way I kind of good perform out there. I would never get I don't know, the fastest point, not the fastest, but the
Yeah, no, I got you.
we will get maximum till Germany with circuit racing, and
Yeah.
I would stuck there. But now I have a possibility to travel, to meet new friends, and be on the top of the motorsport. So, and it costs much less than, I don't know, the DTM or whatever saloon car championship.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask next, why Formula Drift? Why did you decide to? You had success back home driving, but why did you choose to come to Formula Drift and not go to Japan and not go to another European series?
Because European wasn't interesting for us anymore.
Yeah.
So we were doing the Europe for 3 or 4 years, and we kind of knew everybody, and it was kind of we were done. So, and we had the excellent opportunity. We found the brand name who can support us and who can take us to the next level. And the next level at that point was Formula D. Back in 2014, we went with my partner Harry to the Irvindale, home of Drift, and we saw live. We saw first time in a live
Nice.
FD, like being there, like hanging in a fence
Yeah.
outside, an outside part of the fence.
Yeah.
And we were so much excited when we went back home. We started to build the car, and in 5.5 months it landed in LA, and they took it to the tech inspection, and we were there already on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Inside.
incredible. What?
So yeah, we just all the circumstances become at the one point, and we were believing what we are doing, and we just luckily got there, and seems like the luck is still following us.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that.
But not just luck. You've been getting better and better over the past year and a half that you've been in FD. What changed for you in Florida? Why do you think you drove better this round than any other round?
I think I just got used to the system, the judging, the way how the things happen here. It was the 10th anniversary race for us
Yeah.
in a row, So and I don't know. It's hard to explain. So because the guy who I always had next to me, he wasn't there actually. The Harry. For the past 10 years we were driving. This was the second time I didn't have him next to me in the race.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because this is the kind of highest point where we got. But I don't know. It's a luck. It's just a lot of things that went. We turned luckily. So we knew we were doing everything right. All we need is just a bit of luck, and I think we deserved it and we got it, and we did good, I think.
Yeah, no, you did. You did very good. You had some of the best battles, and you almost won the championship, or not the championship. You almost won the event, and only that little problem at the end stopped it. And if you have a hard time explaining it in English, you can just explain in Latvian, and Forsberg will translate.
Okay, he's not here. Really.
All right, well that's
He's
fine.
off.
He left.
He let me on my own.
Oh no, he left you alone with us. That's terrible.
Actually, why don't you tell us what are you doing at Forsberg's house?
Actually, the deal was made already back in Atlanta, and we almost signed an agreement, but it kind of was a mutual agreement.
Yeah.
And before the run in Orlando, the guys from my team asked me, "You really want to do this? Like we can stay like homeless guys.
Oh,
like just make your right decision before you go out there." But he's the honest guy, and as he said, it's better to bring back home 2 trophies instead of 1, right?
Yeah.
If I would lose him, I would stay 4th, which is no good. So 2
Yeah.
is better than 1. So we are in 1 home with 2 trophies.
That's awesome. So
good result.
So you and Forsberg had already agreed that you're going to stay with him after Orlando, and you're worried in Orlando that if you beat him, he wasn't going to let you stay with him after Orlando.
Yes, because he's interesting in my car, and right now we took it in pieces, and I'm showing him what is there, what happened. I'm trying to give him an explanation.
Cool. So Forsberg and the MA Motorsports guys are looking at your car right now and helping you out a little bit?
Yes, they are, and they did it last year, and they do the same this year. Even if last year our road didn't cross, this year they crossed more than crossed.
Yeah.
And we are exchanging information. I'm spying on his car, he's spying on my car, and it's just friendly spying stuff.
Very good.
So back home, HGK, are you guys the pinnacle of the builders there? You know, the like MA Motorsports obviously builds really good cars here in the United States, and they actually built my last car. I'm just curious, with HGK, are you guys holding your builds to a really high level? And
are you considered the best?
Yes, we are trying to build only the best cars. Not the best cars, but we try to use the best components and the parts, so the car, when it rolls out from our workshop, don't become in pieces and don't break down technically, unless somebody gets the hard hit or something like that. So yeah, we try to keep up the level. We try to give the customers they want, because it's expensive toys for the big boys. So
Yes.
right, so
Yes.
the guy never gets old, and only
good.
the toys get more expensive.
Yeah.
And we try to give them I don't know. We're saying it this way: our perfection, your passion, something like that.
Yeah.
So on a range, if a customer were to come to you, do you offer different style of builds? And what's a price range? A lot of these people who are getting involved were, wanting to purchase a car that's ready to go. What's a price range on getting a car built by you guys?
So, in other words, you are asking me how much my BMW is.
No, because for us,
Corey's looking to buy a car.
No, it's just because a
He's
lot of people
full of money.
To give you an example, here in the United States, and I'm sure you've even seen it in Pro 2, the level of car is much different sometimes.
Yes, it is, but we try only to stay with the projects that are top level. Means it's the top, the best possible car, unless the guy who rides it can do the right elements and setup.
So there's a people in the United States who will want to buy a turnkey competitive drift car, and sometimes we have to explain to them that it takes quite a bit of money to play with the big boys, and the cost to build a proper car is not just putting an LS in a 240. It's much more than that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just I would say it's 10%.
Yes.
And LS, it's 10% of the all the parts and details what it consists on.
Yeah, that Corvette you guys brought. What's the driver name? Who drives the Corvette? The AJK Corvette?
Sergey Kabargin.
Yeah, there you go. I don't want to butcher his name, but that car was probably one of the most amazing cars that I've ever put foot on Formula Drift. That was almost like a Le Mans car.
It's a crazy one. It's a crazy one because at the very beginning he said, like, we built one project before the Corvette for him, and he asked one favor. Guys, can you build me a drift car that is below 1 ton?
Yeah.
Which is, how many pounds is it?
That's 2,000 pounds. Yeah.
2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
All right, so we built him a car that was like about 70 or 80 pounds above the target. He was mad. He was pissed. We didn't reach the result. We didn't pass the test.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So with the Corvette, we said, like, we knew, like, we find out where we can lose more weight, and then there is a chassis called Z06, which is from aluminum,
Yeah.
Yep.
and that's the good beginning, right?
Just to start with, that's
So-
like one of the best road cars.
We put the same parts, same setup, everything that can hold 1,000 horsepower, and we just installed it in an aluminum chassis, and we got below 2,000 pounds.
And have you driven that car? Is that car hard to drive in that because it's so powerful?
Unfortunately not. Fortunately not, because at that time my FD season started, and once the guy were sitting behind the wheel, he, most of the cases, crashes, unfortunately. So I didn't have the chance to have a drive visit, only repairing.
Nice.
Yeah. So we also noticed.
Yeah, but I will, because we built another one for him.
Oh, you too? Okay.
Yeah. He has 2, and he won't stop. I guess. I hope really, because those actually the maybe the where we are now and why our car is as good as it is, we can thankful him and somebody else, because they are giving us a job.
Yeah.
They are doing the tests. They are building the cars and giving them for the rabbits, and the rabbits doing tests for us, and we're just watching what's going on when you give us such a powerful car without the weight, with the maximum grip.
Yeah.
And so we can experiment and do the research, and that's how we got better. That's how we can
Nice.
get our cars better, as well as for team and for any other guy who wants to have the winner car.
Yeah. So you learned a lot from building that car, and you've applied that to your BMW.
Yeah. BMW is just a chassis we are working on like almost 5 years, so we know how it reacts. We know what it needs to be done to have the best weight distribution, the grip, and so on. So, but we hopefully will bring the new chassis next year. It should be close to the one we have, just a completely different look. But it's new. We'll see how it will perform, and it will be again a challenge to set it up and get it in a top shape.
So we've noticed, for anyone that's been to a Formula Drift event and seen what your cars are carried in, you have a special rig, you have a special truck that brings your cars to each round. Can you explain what makes your rig unique?
I mean, like, we are just regular guys. We bought the pickup truck this year. We bought the trailer.
Yeah.
Last year we came here with the big explosion.
Yeah.
The double-decker bus that everybody was just like, we're like, what the hell is that? Like,
you guys were like a rock band. You guys were like a rock band on tour.
We were only the rock band. We were the girls volleyball,
Nice.
beach volley team.
Yeah.
We were the Obama service guys.
Yeah.
Because stopping in the gas stations, we got a lot of compliments and questions. Who the hell are you guys?
Because it was to explain to people listening to the show, it was a double-decker bus that was modified to have your cars swing in and out of the bottom of the bus for storage.
Yeah, the cars were standing on the top floor, which is on the second floor, and the living and the technical part is in the first floor, and it's pretty amazing. So we had to took it back because it like passed the test only for 30% last year. Because for instance, the AC in US, it's to be without an AC, it's pretty dangerous, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait.
So we didn't have it for the whole season.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if I didn't notice it out at Orlando or anything. I was hoping that beautiful bus still existed.
By the way, Orlando, we left in a swimsuit, being inside the bus. That's the funniest part. So the guy who were the driver, he all the time needed assistance.
Yeah.
The guy who is cleaning the sweat from his head.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was that bad.
It was too damn hot. It was the worst. It was the worst.
So, what do you have for us for the next round in New Jersey? It's happening in a couple weeks, isn't it? What do you have for us?
I think I gotta keep up because now I think until we get there, let's say till Saturday race, it will be a big test for me because it will be a lot of attention because I made the impression everybody is now looking for the idol in the grass to see what's my weakest point or mentally or physically or technically. So I just gonna try to stay cool, not taking too much reaction on that and just do my best. I don't know.
If you race the exact same way you did Asbo on the next round with everybody, I would totally see you podiuming again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is the part what we need to improve in FD because last year in Irvindale, pretty much the same fuck up shit up happened.
Yeah.
It means there is something that I cannot get over, or something that he's pointing or trying to say me, but I don't hear him because he's too far behind me, usually.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I will get to that point. So, and definitely we'll find it, and maybe it's for good. So, because the first podium and the top spot, maybe it's a good sign. So we still have a target, and we are not perfect. Means so we still have to clear the heads and get better.
Yeah. Well, that's good though. That's good though that you're not resting, because you did just take out who many consider the best drifter to ever live, Chris Forsberg, 2-time Formula Drift champion, and you took him out. So it's good to see that you're not resting on that. You're still looking to get up to the top of that podium.
I did it 3 times actually.
Yeah.
Because they gave me one more time.
Yeah.
And I watched the video. Actually, this is the point that he should talk before, right?
Yeah.
Because they gave me a second run one more time. Why they did? Does anybody knows?
I'm trying to remember the battle
Because
exactly.
I hit the cone, right?
Yeah.
I didn't hit it. I pushed it.
Yeah, they were being very strict on that.
And they showed the flag, and they showed the flag when I was what was behind me, and they never showed the flag in the entry.
Oh.
So that call for one more time was completely insane and unnecessary.
Yeah. So
this is what I want to point. If we are talking about the in ways of what needs to be improved.
yeah.
I had to say something else. Yeah. So something too.
Well, you still proved it after that you're capable of beating one of the giants.
No, it was pleasure. It was a lot of pleasure to do it one more time.
Yeah.
And now you are taking a shit on his bathroom.
Oh man.
Oh
No, we just joke. We just joke.
No, we don't.
no, I got it. Yes, I do.
Yes. Kristaps, we have a couple people asking questions.
So
on-
each episode, Kristaps, we post on Instagram to fans what they would like to ask each driver.
Okay.
So we posted on Instagram what people might want to ask you, and we're going to read some of those questions.
All right.
All right, so we have a question from Stay Foul, and he wants to know, do you and your team live in the United States during the season or travel back and forth for events?
They are back and forth guys.
Okay. What about you?
What about me?
Now you're like staying here in the States until next round, right?
Yes, this is the only time we stay in U.S. For more than 3 weeks.
Got it.
Same we did last year. Also Orlando and the Wall. Otherwise, we are going back and forth, doing our job, trying to rob some banks and bring some more money here.
Speaking
Nice.
of robbing banks and money, a fan named Racecourse Stuff says, "Why do you sort of look like a James Bond villain?"
Because I shaved my hair and I don't shave my beard.
Do you own a cat?
Even if I'm, I don't know that.
I think they eat cats.
Nobody told me that. Nobody ever told me that I'm walking in the moonlight, but never heard it.
We have a fan named Iron Dookie that says,
Uh-oh.
he says, "I'm ordering a pizza. What should I get on it?"
Can you repeat? I'm wondering if
He ordered, if he was going to order a pizza right now, he's going to call up a pizza restaurant and order a pizza. What sort of toppings should he get on that pizza?
vegetables, cheese, and meat.
Vegetables, cheese, and meat. Straight up. Very
That's
easy.
A full meal right there.
Full meal.
Meat and vegetables. What else you need?
There you go. That's what makes you a big, strong man.
What about vodka?
I I know what it tastes like.
Just a little.
Just a little bit, slightly.
I got poisoned
Whoa.
with few times. So
How
that's
much
about it.
vodka do you have before Formula Drift event?
Right before the event or the day before?
Right before you get in the car.
Right before I'm getting in the car.
Yep.
I'm adding it to my cooling system. So I can't really drink, so at least I can smell it.
Yes.
Yes. That is the right answer. Should we ask some like behind the scenes? We don't have to do like a lightning question, but should we ask some simple ones?
Sure.
All right. We're gonna ask some very non-drift easy questions.
Not an easy question.
No, it'll be easy question. All right. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food?
Yep. Vodka.
Hard
Yeah.
question.
not an easy question.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I don't know. Favorite food? As I said, vegetables and meat.
All right. Pizza with vegetables and meat. What was your first car?
BMW
Hell yeah.
325.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Corey drives a BMW 325.
Yeah. Corey's got a convertible.
I just picked up a E30, old one.
Yeah, it was the E30 1986. It was made of.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. He's
It was at that time 170 horsepower was the fastest car on the street.
There you go. Yeah.
What is
He knows his Beamers.
what is the most popular car in Latvia?
I don't know, maybe Toyota Avensis or Yaris.
Yaris.
Shitty car.
It should not BMW. Is BMW more rare? Is it harder to find a BMW there?
They're all over.
Yeah, they.
Europe.
Yeah.
Question here. Who came up with Evil Empire?
Russian guys.
And so maybe for
Oh
people.
no. It's Reagan.
Reagan.
It's your president.
President Reagan called Russia evil
He
empire.
called in the Cold War time or potential Cold War time. He called Soviet Union an evil empire.
Yeah.
And those guys in Russia, in St. Petersburg, they named the drift team name, the Evil Empire. The idea they're coming from U.S.
They're coming from the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
From Reagan.
That is very
Wow.
cool.
So
That's cool.
That's where it came from.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
awesome.
And you are part of their team, right?
Not anymore.
Oh. But you already
See,
conquered Florida.
no, we are not. We try to change things because it wasn't. It was pretty bad last year.
Okay.
And during the off season, we tried to find the answers, and this was one of the options. We trying to stay away,
Yeah.
and not the EE team or whatever, but those two words doesn't sound good. So sometimes when you are doing not good, you are trying to look at things different. So Evil Empire doesn't sound good to us.
So this year you are the friendly empire.
Yes, what about the HGK Empire? I like that.
That works. That works.
There was probably 10 episodes ago, we came up with a very beautiful storybook we called Kristaps and the Corvette.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that, Sam.
Kristaps and the Corvette. What was that
It's
about?
a beautiful Latvian storybook.
Oh yeah.
for kids.
Yeah. Are there children's books? Do parents in Latvia read stories, bedtime stories to kids about Kristaps Bluss in Formula Drift?
They will.
They will.
They will?
Good answer. Good answer.
Hell yeah.
Actually, they just after the event, it was Sunday morning back home already. I think I kept not the most, but part of the citizens awake until early morning at Sunday, because they used to sleep at that time for the last 9 times. So probably everybody, whoever got drunk more or less, but at least they had a lot of party.
Hell yeah.
So it's kind of, they put the roof on fire, and it was kind of unofficial national celebrating day.
So
Awesome.
Do you have good support back home in Latvia? Do a lot of people know about Kristaps Bluss in Formula Drift?
Everybody knows, because
Hell
we are
yeah.
only 1.5 million. Can you imagine that?
No, I can't. There's more people in my city.
1.5. And maybe, I don't know, 1% knows who is Kristaps.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So I'm getting enough, at least 1/10 of the citizens who are I am.
That's pretty good because I
Make them
don't think
If it would be the same percentage in the United States, how does it look?
that would be like if maybe
Enough.
200,000 or how many I don't know how many people are in the United States.
No idea.
Hold on, we're gonna look real quick because I was gonna say I don't think 10% of the United States have any idea what drifting
Obviously, yeah.
even is. I don't think more than 10% know what drifting is in the United States. So we're gonna look it up.
They know. The part of it thinks it's
Forsberg.
I'm a good guy.
Forsberg
I'm a good
knows.
guy, and Forsberg knows.
Yeah, yell at Forsberg. Ask Forsberg the population of the United States.
318 million.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that would be like
Population,
30 million people knowing who Chris Forsberg is, and I think maybe only a couple hundred, maybe.
So it gives you an answer. Yes, I'm famous.
Yeah. Yes, you motherfucker, you, you goddamn rock star. Do we have any other stupid questions? I don't know, man. I think that's about it for our stupid questions. But I personally, we've hung out a couple times at Jacob's house in Long Beach, and I've been very excited to see you on the podium. And I know Forsberg, when he just got his ass kicked by you, he was so excited to see you win. I was rooting from the stands, as I'm sure a lot of other people were. So congratulations on your first Formula Drift podium, and we can't wait to see you at the top of that thing. And thank you for calling in tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
All right, now go drink all of Forsberg's whiskey and take a big dump in his bathroom.
And tell him he's a twat.
All right.
All right, no problem.
I got this.
All right, have a good night, Kristaps.
See ya.
All right. You too, guys.
Later, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Well,
He's gone.
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I would do our usual thing and say, that guy was a real piece of trash, but I don't want to wake up, or I don't want to not wake up. I don't want to just have someone come into my house in the middle of the night and.
No, you'd wake up dead.
Is that you don't wake up then? That's just
You will
dead.
wake up dead.
No, you go and slip with the fishes.
That's a different kind of mobster, I think.
I know.
Oh.
I don't know. What I'm saying, you can tell,
He seems like a sweetheart.
I wonder what he's like in his own native language, because obviously Kristaps only has spent limited time in America and speaking English, so we had to cool our jets a little bit and not use as much as many puns or innuendo as we usually do. But I'm curious, like to his own country, like is he just like a madman? Is he hilarious? What is he like?
I don't know.
I guess we just need to like to wait until
We need to all learn Latvian.
Yeah, well, that too. But I think we have to wait until he wins again. Somehow we end up partying
Yeah.
with this crew.
But
And
Paco, he speaks better English than you still.
wow.
And he's been here for like a year and a half, and he... Don't leave, Paco. No, he's going. Corey, you and I have never done a show before.
No, we haven't.
What's this like?
So Paco's gonna get more spaghetti, I'm assuming. Oh,
Oh, my God.
he's gonna shit it at me. Paco, come on. Don't shit your
Paco.
spaghetti at me
Don't
yet.
shit- He just wanted to move that spaghetti further away from you, Corey. He knew that you're going to
I
eat.
was gonna use that and shit it at him.
Yeah, for those that are not watching this portion of the show, we've been eating spaghetti pretty much this whole interview. Not a big deal.
NBD. Yeah, that was I think it went pretty well.
It went pretty well. It's tough to. It's a tough language barrier, of course, but what I take away from it is that the dude is going to be a rock star in FD if he keeps on keeping on, and I expect him to.
It's funny. It reminds me a lot of my first boss I ever had when I came to the States. He was from Serbia.
Yeah.
And it was just like this, the same thing. Imagine like even worse English with his very bad English.
Well, it's funny because he's serious about everything. He sounds like a super serious Eastern European guy, and then he just drops like a bomb of a joke, which is always fun because like I try to think of if I could be funny in another language. I probably couldn't for a
Or
long
the
time.
things that just translate weird. So if you can say like, I don't know, I'm trying to think like call Forsberg or twat and shit in his toilet. He's like,
yes.
yes. That could be like taking a shit in the sink and calling him a, what. I don't know. It's just.
I like to think that he understands
I think he
completely.
does.
He
I
understands
think he does.
completely, and his only answer is yes.
I will do it.
I will do that for you.
Straight up. Was Latvia
No nonsense.
Was Latvia part of the
Soviet bloc,
Soviet
I believe so.
Republic?
Forsberg. Yeah, Latvia was.
I can't remember, but I mean I'm pretty sure like at least at a certain point I was like all about the motherland.
Hold on, you talk about something. I'm gonna look up Latvia facts.
Okay. Latvia facts. So last time I went.
Oh,
to,
don't do that.
Oh my god,
You're gonna get.
You're gonna get racist, Paco. I know it.
No.
You can't even help it.
dude!
You can't even help yourself.
I've been told by a Russian guy. Like he asked me like, where from Russia you from? And I was like, I'm not from Russia.
Guadalajara, Russia.
Like, Guadalajara, motherland.
Yeah. I'm from Mexico.
But yeah, it's funny. He was like, yeah, no, I know Russian. You are from Russia too. I'm like, no, not really.
Latvian is the sole language.
One
of
thing I was
Latvia.
going to ask him
Oh.
that I didn't was how does
I'm sorry we're boring you, Corey. I'm sorry you can't keep
No,
your eyes awake and stop
no,
yawning.
just thinking like how are the fans out
It's all
here
the spaghetti.
different
He almost killed
compared
it.
to the fans?
Yeah,
back
that
in
would have been a good
Latvia?
question. Maybe you should have asked it instead of sitting there just in your
I was
spaghetti
listening-
trance.
I was listening to you guys chat and I was really enjoying it.
Corey was having a stroke from hitting almost a whole
See,
bowl.
I noticed you really stepped up when I was gone, Corey. You were asking all the hard hitting questions. The Paco was too, of course, but I'm just mean that you like to chill out when I'm asking the
Well,
questions.
I like to enjoy the show. I like to sit back
I
and
was gonna
listen.
say, you like to
Because the thing is,
listen.
I don't have to listen to it on Monday. I could just be like, no, I'm just going to take it in now and
Piece of shit.
Nice.
pizza shit.
I'm wondering if Kristaps is going to be in the Wikipedia for Latvia.
Like Latvia is known for his drifter Kristaps Bluss.
Due to the Kristaps, did you know
Oh.
that around 3000 BC, the Proto-Baltic ancestors of the Latvian people set on the eastern coast of the Baltic Sea? The Balts established trade routes to Rome and Byzantium, trading local amber for precious metals. By 900 AD,
Jeez.
Corey. No, I was gonna say, Corey, you're gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm not disrespecting Latvia. I love all Latvians, including Kristaps Bluss. He's my favorite Latvian.
Kristaps in the Corvette.
Okay. Yeah, what was the story about Kristaps and the Corvette? I forgot.
You forgot?
Yeah.
Like, well, we were talking about like, oh, what was his name? Kristaps, and like the Corvette.
Yeah.
And then you interrupted, like, oh, that sounds like a great title for a
Kids
for a
book.
kid's book. Kristaps and the Corvette.
One day, like Daisy the Dragon.
Yeah, like this is the dragon, but
One day, Kristaps was hired to make a sub 2,000 pound Corvette, and he did almost.
Do you know how hard that is?
That is insane.
That is absolutely insane.
How much, Paco? You know that's how much does a Corvette weigh? A C5, let's say for fun, because that's
it
what
was
everyone
a it was a C6 CO6 with aluminum.
It was
frame.
it was a C6.
Yeah,
Okay.
C6. I think it's like about 38.
No fucking, that can't be that heavy. All right, Forsberg. I'm gonna look it up.
I mean, well, maybe a little less, but around 3,500. But they have a lot of safety.
Yeah,
What's it called?
but to make a car to make any car, just about I think sub 2,000 pounds, unless it's like the tiny little
Dude,
Miata.
even people get pumped up when their 240s are like 2,300 pounds.
Yeah, so for example, like Vaughn's car, his Mustang is not the lightest car in the grid or whatever, but wet with fuel. and everything.
3,500 pounds.
Oh, nailed it.
So it's a Vaughn's car who I think has done a lot of lightweighting. We just did a video on it in Orlando on his car. To take off
1,500 pounds.
So to take off 500
C6
pounds,
Corvette.
to take off this is my only point of reference, unfortunately, but to take off 500 pounds on Vaughn's Mustang, they are chopping off like the ends of bolts. They are doing like I think titanium exhaust. They're
Were
doing,
they like shaving sheet metal?
Yeah, so
So I know
they
they
shaved.
used to do that on all race cars. They like used to acid.
I don't know if he
dip.
does. I don't know if he does that. Probably. But he has a full carbon body. He's got, I think, I don't know if it's magnesium or titanium exhaust. It's one of the very light ones.
Titanium.
They shave off the end of every bolt, so there's like minimal threads left. So that doesn't seem like a lot, individually. But if you take every bolt of the car and get rid of all those threads, that's like 20 pounds.
And lots of CrossFit.
And lots of CrossFit. And that's the biggest thing you could do as a driver, Corey.
Ooh, I eat spaghetti.
You can lighten up, dude.
I'm not really worried about weight.
I know.
As you can tell.
Corey, we know, dude.
Stop.
Well, you have a very good engine on your car too, huh?
Yeah, we both run mast.
Yeah.
See, all you need is a transmission now.
You got it already?
Yeah, no, I haven't got it yet.
Oh.
One of these
I got
days.
everything else though.
Texas is happening soon.
It's like 3 months away. Yeah, I know. We're good. But it's just, my
Famous
car's going to be an
words.
anchor compared to...
So I don't, yeah, but 2,000
I'm
pounds.
running a LQ9 or, a cast iron LS base block.
2,000
And then
pounds.
the turbo and the manifold and...
How much is your car going to weigh?
Probably 2,800, 2,900, 2,800, 2,900. Somewhere around there, roughly.
With or without your 200 pounds of spaghetti?
I'll probably be sitting 3,000 with me in it.
You're 3,000 pounds mostly?
So we'll be sitting at 5,000 pounds.
That's a lot of pasta.
No, but that's
pretty standard. I think
because that
$3,000
will
is
allow
pretty
you to
common.
run about a 275, 285.
You're going to be running 215s though, just so you can get that extreme angle.
Well, I like what Forsberg was saying is just leaking it into the corners like super slow and then clutch kicking it last second. So that's going to be what I want to be doing.
Is that what Forsberg said he was doing?
He was doing it too.
Well, you think Forsberg was a weak initiation guy?
No, but he's saying everybody else was doing
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So I would just bring the level back. Speed's not judged, so I would just make it on style approach.
I'd say don't even do a real initiation. I'd say just drive as fast as you can around. And if the car kind of breaks loose at some point,
Just
great.
squirrely, fuck.
I just say, what if you fucking threw everyone off like Corey Hosford back at it again? And everyone's like, here he comes. We're so excited. He's going to fucking not drive very well, but going to be really funny.
This is going to be awesome.
And then
so I wouldn't
instead
do the
of-
chicane. I would drive straight through the cones.
What if you hit every cone?
How many points did I got? 500 points per cone.
What if you throw it in reverse? So it's let's say it's, no. Okay, so let's say your chase run. Let's say you're driving to Orlando. You're
All right.
chasing. The lead driver takes off, and you immediately plow into him and push him into the wall like Tyler McQuarrie style. Or is that Conrad Grunwald style? Who
No, that
plowed
was
who?
Justin Pollock and Tyler in Seattle.
I can't keep track of all those guys.
I know,
all
come
those
on,
good old
Sam.
boys. Anyway, but yeah, you hit every cone, or
Yeah.
I say just for fun, Corey, because we know
Or
that.
I would get out and reset the clipping point and then hop back in and then complete the run.
Yeah.
Like I would go out there, move some things around just to
You have
tailor it.
such endless potential to
See,
fuck around
well-
because you can knock over all the cones. You can knock over cones like 3 times, right? It's
Yeah.
a 3-strike rule. So just as a goof, just to throw the other guy off the first time, just hit every single cone.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yep. I would also in the trophy ceremony, I would still park on the front for the first, second, third, and in 32nd place.
Yeah.
You'd not be up there.
You'd
waving,
Happy Gilmore
Yeah,
demand your own check.
yeah no, I
horse.
deserve to be up here.
You demand your own tiny check.
Excuse me, guys. I deserve to be up here too.
Uh,
Take the mics from them, do the interviews.
Corey and I actually have a plan. Should we tell them about our plan for if you make the grade 8 ceremony?
Or let's see. Let's get some
Top 16.
suggestions. What if we get some?
Well, no. Pro 2 just has do you have a ceremony?
top
for
16.
Yeah, they
intro,
do a top
They
16.
okay, they do an intro for 16.
Maybe we should tell.
But we
instead
already
of telling
know.
people our ideas, let's see what people would want to see.
Yeah, what do you want to see Corey do?
If I make a
Should
top
he-
16 Pro 2
Yeah.
in Texas
And
or
or Phoenix.
Phoenix on the live stream, what would you want me to do on driver introduction? Sam and I already have an idea,
Yeah.
but let's
Oh yeah,
hear
because
yours.
I didn't had any idea.
What's
any
your
part
idea,
of it.
Paco? We didn't know Paco.
Yes, you did.
Did you
I
invest?
was there.
But I
Whatever. I'm down for real.
Paco, don't
Don't
rage
do
quit.
this, Paco.
Don't rage
Please,
quit.
please, Paco, please. We need you.
Just saying the show's almost done anyways.
It is almost done. Well, that's why you should probably leave now because we
Yeah,
know
then
that
I
you don't
need
like
to
to
take
say
a pee.
goodbye. Paco's not so good at goodbyes.
I'm
We
good
should
at
have- we
goodbyes.
should-
I just want to make sure we cover all our bases before we.
By this time, people
Hold
already
on.
turned it off.
We're gonna do a new segment called Paco covering all the vases.
Flower vases.
Yeah.
What other kind of vases are there?
The ace of
Ace
bases.
of, oh, you fucking beat me to it.
Anyways.
Have we bullshit for enough? Can we go now?
Yeah,
I
let's
need to
do
go to
it.
the bathroom.
Paco,
That was a lot of spaghetti.
Didn't even need any of it. But
do we even need to tell people what our social media is at this point? They kind of know.
No.
Just look at it in the
All right,
leave it in the info.
Corey's at spaghettiforlegs.org.
And
Lemon
it's
Party
an organization, and we are a nonprofit.
Yeah, if you're tired, if you don't want to vote for everyone's tired of the Democrats and the Republican sour lies. Vote Lemon Party this year. Go to Corey's website, lemonparty.org. lemonparty.org to vote for Corey.
And if you want to vote for Paco, you can go to cakefarts.com.
What's that? I don't even know what that one is.
Just Google it.
If you want to read more about Paco, you have to.
JFGI.
I'm not going to do that. I also want to throw out there that no one should do any of the things that we're
Don't
saying,
do it.
except for going to Drift Idiot on Instagram, Street Standard on Instagram and Facebook, and we're on Facebook, and also
and Tofu Drift Fan, 2F Performance.
2F Performance,
2F Performance, and buy a lot of doof.
and Tub Girl. That one's for real.
That's yours, Sam.
Good stuff for me. It's Paco.
All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
In all hail Latvia.
Adios.